There's a great story of what God is doing across Uganda, and particularly in the Masaka region of Uganda. It's been my privilege with Partnerships for Training Pastors to come to Kanoni to be able to work with emerging leaders. And you're going to hear some of the stories that have come because of the training that we have had over the years.
As a result of the trainings that I go and get, and then sharing it back. And actually basing on the story that we were handling of Paul and Timothy, we are also trying to mentor very many of them. So wherever we get trainings, we come back and we also train other people down.
Enyambye nnyo kubanga Devu yatusomesa ku bukulembeze naddala mu kitabo kya Timoseewo ekyokubiri. Natulaga nti nno omuntu okubeera omukulembeze ateekwa okuba nga ayina omuntu gw'ayimiridde naye amukuza.
I had to go back to my rural area or to my local community to try to teach people how they are able to utilize the little resources they have in order to come up with a common thing which is able to uplift their community. That's why I came up with a community school which is known as Empower Uganda.
Training facilitates them and capacitates them to know what they are supposed to do as leaders. They wouldn't know how to do missions. They wouldn't know how to do evangelism for their churches. They wouldn't know how to work alongside pastors. They wouldn't know how to be humble people who work along other people.
Kampala Baptist Church has had a partnership with Partnerships for Training Pastors for several years now. In many churches in Africa, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of people that are in the ministry without training, and we feel for a healthy church, people need to understand the scriptures, and so we've been involved.
Kati bwe mba nkikola seeraliikirira nkikola seegende sirina kyentiddemu kubanga manyi nti nkolera ddala ekituufu okusinziira nga batuyigiriza mu trainings.
The Baptist Church in Masaka was started in 1967 by church missionaries. Pastor Alois is one of the prominent figures that has been instrumental in building of the church. At the turn of 1990, war broke out in Rwanda, leading to an influx of migrants into Uganda, most of whom settled in Masaka. They brought numerous skill sets with them, including church ministry. As a result, as the church grew, many of the ministers were of Rwandan origin, marginalizing the Ugandans.
Here in Masaka, the churches were started by Rwandese. The refugees that had come from Rwanda, I think they came around 1955 when the war started in their country, so they ran and take refuge in Uganda here, and most of them settled around Masaka area. And so when they came, some of them were already Christians, and so they started churches. They started Baptist churches here in Masaka.
And when the war was finally over in 1995, without warning, a majority of Rwandese trekked back to their homeland in the middle of the night.
But they were not able to handle at who, because most of the people, congregation most of them were Abanyarwanda.
The effect of this was all the experienced church leaders had left, and so had a good percentage of the congregation leaving the church, struggling to survive.
In fact, it was a massive exodus because many of them went back. In fact, since they are the ones who had occupied our churches, most of our churches remained empty. Actually, some of their children were in our schools, our Baptist schools. All of them went.
To bring it back at the church, we have to go back and start going to the community and teaching, making evangelism. And to the few who had remained, to help them to understand how they can keep going on and making more to other people.
Today, the church is stronger because different partners have come on board to assist in training church leaders so as to increase the efficiency in ministry. Partnerships for Training Pastors is one of the organizations that has partnered with the Masaka Baptist Diocese to assist in building the capacity required to minister to the people in the area.
For the last 7 to 8 years, we have been training pastors and leaders from about 25 different churches. And we've trained about 50 to about 90 pastors annually.
We feel the responsibility to participate in empowering the other churches, and we have done this mainly through training of the pastors and church leaders.
Okuyita mu training ntegedde nti mu buli mbeera nina okuyimirira.
And it's our goal to work with partnerships that would work with less resourced people and provide biblical resources and biblical training so that the church would grow and be strengthened so that they would honor God in what they would do through their worship and in their lives.
Through this work, the church in Masaka is preparing itself to hand over its leadership to the next generation of ministers.
These emerging leaders are already working in our churches. They are young people who are working, who are in positions like youth leaders, they are evangelical leaders. Dev's training has helped a great deal to first of all give them the confidence to know that they are leaders as well.
Mbadde mu kanisa nga nkola omuliro nga nkola obuweereza obw'okulembera abavubuka mu kanisa. Naye nga sinabagenda mu trainings, mbadde nsanga ebinkaluubirira ng'omuntu oba ng'omuweereza okugeza nga obumu ku bukodyo oba ku bukugu oba obumanyifu mu ngeri gy'okulemberamu banno ate ne mu kubayigiriza kubanga ekisookera ddala bw'oba mukulembeze olina okubeera ekyokulabirako.
We are working with the leaders in this region to begin to develop the younger generation that will take over from the older ones.
I got a lot of encouragement, and I learned how to first sit down before going to preach. First read the Bible, ask God, praying hard to see that God reveals everything to me, which I was not doing before.
They took through me the Bible teachings. So when I learned how really God loved me and I interpreted that message, I had to transfer that knowledge to that knowledge I learned from the trainings to my local community.
We've been partners together, and we have seen the fruit of faithful teaching of God's Word for the good of God's people and the glory of Christ in these communities where we are serving.